Good morning, gentlemen. My name is Kurt Hitzemann, County Court Judge here in Hernando County. You folks are here for your first appearance. The purpose of the first appearance is so that you may be informed of the charges against you. I'll determine if probable cause exists for those charges. Probable cause simply means that it's more likely than not that a crime has occurred, and more likely than not that you're the person that committed that crime. As you stand before me this morning, of course, I presume that you're innocent of the charge. That presumption of innocence will stay with you through every stage of the proceedings, unless and until the state can prove the allegations against you beyond and to the exclusion of a reasonable doubt. We'll set your conditions of pretrial release this morning, that is your bail or your bond. In most cases, you've had a bond set already pursuant to the bond schedule here in the 5th Judicial Circuit, or the warrant which led to your arrest. I'll determine if that bond should be raised or lowered or left the same, or whether there'll be additional conditions of pretrial release placed upon you. We'll let you know when your next court date will be, and if you'd like to have the services of the public defender, I'll gladly appoint the public defender to represent you this morning. You do have a right to have contact with folks on the outside, family, friends, counsel. If you have not had a chance to make that call, please let me know. We'll make sure that that happens. Finally, and most importantly, you're advised that you do have an absolute right to remain silent with regard to the facts which surround your arrest. I encourage you to do that. These proceedings are recorded. In addition, there is an assistant state attorney in the courtroom with me. If you say something that tends to incriminate you, they will use it against you in the prosecution down the road. Now I need all three of you to please raise your right hands and be sworn. You all solemnly swear or affirm, tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth? Very good. When I call your name, please step forward to the podium. Gregory Kershey. Morning, Greg. What's your date of birth?
11/02/1986, sir.
Charges violation of an injunction. There's probable cause for the charge. Mr. Smith.
I don't know if Your Honor's familiar with Mr. Kershey. Obviously, he's a long-term resident of this county.
Right.
I thought the probable cause was a little questionable, obviously, not doing the right thing by not leaving when law enforcement is there, particularly.
Right.
But he has strong ties to the community, and this is an on-again, off-again relationship with this individual. It was a no-violent contact injunction. Okay. It had been modified.
Okay.
And we have mediation coming up in the family law case where Mr. Brown represents the victim in the case.
Okay. And I see an open felony case. Are you involved in that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. What's the charge there?
Theft from this particular individual of a cell phone, where they were arguing about who may or may not be on the cell phone communication. Nothing involving
the problem
violence.
in Mr. Kershey's life is getting this relationship ended and moving on. Is that basically what's going on?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
And he has a brand new baby with this individual too, which makes it difficult.
And Mr. Kershey, you currently employed?
Yes, sir.
What do you do?
My dad owns a restaurant in Brooksville, and I work for my dad.
Okay. Luigi's, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you've been working there all your adult life, right?
Yes, sir.
Even before adult life.
Before adult life. Okay. Okay. Mr. Kershey, I'm going to set your bond at $500, but understand now, I'm going to make it a no contact with Miss Elliott. So that means no contact any way, shape, fashion, or form unless it's happening in court or through an attorney. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, nothing. You get it? Because anything else, because I'll tell you right now that the state hasn't asked yet, but they certainly could have asked me to hold you in bond without jail this morning because of your open felony case. And 99 times out of 100, that's what happens. I happen to know something about you, and that's the reason you're getting a bond, but that's the limit of our patience in this regard, okay?
Yes, sir.
Any other trouble, and you're going to stay right there at the jail until you get all your issues resolved, okay?
And the family law visitation, all that takes a backseat now, Gregory. You're just going to have to wait till this gets straightened out.
That's fine. That's okay.
Okay. So I'm going to have you back in court on this on the 29th of November. Make sure you stay in contact and follow every instruction you get from Mr. Smith, okay?
Yes, sir.
Very good.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Charles is probably going to ask me about the current case. Okay. Kevin Joyce. Morning, Kevin. What's your date of birth?
3/16/1989.
Given the charge is violation of an injunction, there's probable cause for the charge. As to the charge, you want to represent yourself, you want to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
The public defender, please.
Appoint the PD, state.
2008 battery, domestic battery, that's all I can find right now.
Okay. And
Excuse me, Your Honor.
hang on a second, Kevin. Hang on, you'll get a chance. I've got an address for you on Larkin Road in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
How long have you been there?
After the restraining order got served to me, I didn't have anywhere else to go, so the only house that I had was to be able to go to my neighbor's house.
Okay. Do you have a job these days?
Yes, sir, I do.
What do you do?
I'm an AC installer. I work at Universal Air and Heat, which I'm actually supposed to be there today.
Okay.
I wasn't intending to do anything.
Greg, don't talk about the facts of your case. This is the public defender.
Right, and I get reading it what the issue is, all right, Kevin? But you gotta think about it if you're going to be in the neighborhood about staying away, okay?
Yes, sir.
I'm going to set the bond at $500. Condition of the bond is that you abide by that injunction. We'll have you back in court on the 29th of November. Make sure that you check in with the public defender's office before then, and if you got to draw yourself a map and make a 500-foot circle around that house, do it so that you avoid going near there, okay?
Yes, sir.
Very good. See you at the end of the month.
Thank you.
Yep. And John Crestinzio. Morning, John. What's your date of birth?
8/30/87.
All right, John, you're here on a warrant that I signed. I found probable cause for a violation of probation. Okay. Looks like you got a pending felony open too, right, John?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, the recommendation on the VOP is 30 days in the county jail. We can resolve this without affecting your felony this morning. If you want to, you can take the 30 days. If you'd rather have a chance to check with a public defender before you do that, you can do that. You would be back in court before the 30-day sentence would be over, so you wouldn't lose any time by talking to a lawyer, and I certainly will give you credit for all the time that you deserve. So you can take the 30 now, or have a chance to speak to an attorney first and then see me at the end of the month.
I'm taking 30 now.
All right. You understand, by entering an admission to a violation of probation, you give up the right to have a trial to the court, the right to confront the witnesses against you, the right to have a lawyer represent you, but you want to give up those rights so we can resolve this case today?
Yes.
Case number 17MM537. As to the violation of probation, do you admit that you violated your probation?
Yes.
I'll accept the admission, find it's freely and voluntarily made, revoke and terminate that probation unsuccessfully, adjudicate you guilty of the underlying charge. If we didn't do that before, sentence to 30 days in the county jail, credit 2 days served. Would be a $50 cost of prosecution and cost of incarceration. But that takes care of it, John. You just need to finish
Your Honor.
time. Go ahead.
I have 13 days in on this charge.
Okay. When did you get the other time?
Back in May when I first got it.
All right, hang on a second.
I have 12 days in on that.
Hang on, we'll check it out. Just take a second.
He has 12 days from that. Yeah, he has 13 total.
Yes, 13 total?
Yes, sir.
13 total, John? Is that what you think it is?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll give you credit for 13 total. So that should mean about 12 days left on this, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. Very good. Thanks, folks.
Thank you.
Judge, we have